And the descriptors, here we go. I'm going to take a look at it and you can just kind of check them off on your particular answer sheet. Optimistic. What style is primarily optimistic? Well, that's your I style. Steady. That's your S style. Analytical. Obviously your C style. Direct. That's your D style. C is perfectionistic, or C's. Those are people who like things done exactly right. So that would be a C. Persuasive is I's. I's are very persuasive. Some people put an S in there. S's are people-oriented, but they're not as persuasive, if you will, and outgoing as the I's are. Careful. S's are very careful. Remember we talked about their key being security. Patient. This is a good one. If you put a S or a C in this one, you got it right. S's and C are both very patient. Precise. That's where your C's come in. They're very precise. They like things done in an exact way. They're high quality control people. Inspiring. Those are your cheerleaders, if you will. Those are the high I people. If you look at logic, those are your C people. They want things orderly. They want things exactly right. They want the facts and the figures. They want it logical. Challenging. Who's our challengers? Those are our D's. They're the ones that are our pioneers, if you will. They're out there looking for new territories to conquer, new goals to accomplish. They're challenge-oriented. Strong-willed. Obviously, those are your D's. They're strong-willed. They've got their opinions. They're very aggressive in their thinking. Exacting. Again, high-quality area. Those are your C's. We talked about that before. Congenial. These are people congenial. People ask me, well, what does congenial mean? It's not a word that's used very much. It means how well that you like to get along with people. In other words, developing that harmony and relationship. And those are high S's. I's are along that line too, but your S's are more servant-oriented, if you will. They're more serving. So a better answer there would be an S. Characteristics, if you will. Looking at some of the needs. What style it has a need to be very direct in your approach? That would be your D style. How about indirect approach? That would be your I style, if you will. How about to comply? Styles that want to be sure that we are complying and doing things right. That would be your C style. That would be those people who are your quality control people. How about to serve other people? What style is it that has a servant's heart? Really, that's your S style. If you look over at the other side, closure. Who likes to be sure that things are wrapped up in a nice bow and in closure? That would be your S style. How about challenge-oriented? Again, your D style. Social recognition. When you go into an office of a high I person, you generally see pictures of them with their family and with everybody else in terms of recognition. They're very focused on recognition-oriented. That was high I. Procedures, again, your C style is high procedure-oriented. Let's look down at basic characteristics. What two styles are particular people-focused? Remember we talked about that. People-oriented. Those are your S and your I styles are people-oriented. How about task? D's and C's are task-oriented. How about extroverted? Going outward, if you will, with your communication. You've got extroverted are your D's and your I's. They're the ones that in your team meetings and whatever, they're the ones that are doing all the talking. Your S's and your C's are not saying that much. You have to pull them out. Remember, we talked about that. And then the more introverted style, obviously, are your S's and your C's. All right? How about our population breakdown? You remember we talked about our population breakdown when we went through each style in each chapter? And it's a pretty level across the board. There's not a big mound, if you will. It's a pretty level playing field there in terms of percentages. The D's, 27% are your D's. 26% are your I's, 24% S's, and 28% are your C's. So you can begin to see that there's a kind of an equal split, if you will, among styles. Relates well to a team. You know, what would be a perfect team, if you will, of style blend for effectiveness? And obviously that would be if you had a D, an I, an S, and a C would be a great team. On the other hand, that would be a team that would have a lot of challenge, if you will. Why? Because they have different approaches in the way they do things. But if that team then is focused on the goal and the objective, then they can work very well together as a team. So that's one way. If we're talking about blending styles, we're talking about proficiency, if you will. We're talking about how well they handle conflict. You're now getting a pretty good handle on how to work with each one of these and then how to deal with them.